Okay, I'm back, and I've trimmed back each one of these, and if you see how they line up, put this right on here, and here you see it has a little bit of gap, about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So when I put this one down, it's not going to interfere with any of the tabs on here to be able to put it together. So this is number 2. I think it's number 2. Yeah, number 2. This is panel number 1. And this also fits perfectly into here. See how you have the gap all the way around? That's what you need. This is panel 3. This one could have gone back a hair more. I may trim this one. See how it has just a little bit of overlap here, but I will trim this one back again. It's very important to get this just right before you start cutting out your cutouts, because you can adjust this once they're down. This one here also needs a trim there. This side is fine. See how this side I have a little bit of gap, but the top is still a little bit close. So I may trim that. And then of course our roof is fine. So since these are so narrow, they don't cut very well on my cutter. So what I'm gonna do is I have my little small ruler, just line it up, just take a little bit off of this one, just like that, just a teeny bit. Then let's see if this fits a little bit better. Yep, perfect. Okay, by the time we line this up, it'll be perfect. All right, that one's good. This one, we need just a little bit off the side. So I'll take my bigger ruler, put that down, just take a little bit more off of this one. Just like that. And there we go. That's perfect. See how we still have the gap in here? And that's what we need in order to fold these down and attach them. Okay, so there's all the cardboard cut for one house. And I have 2 more houses to go. So let me show you really quickly what about the panels here. This one's a straight panel, so this one has no cutout, which is easy. This one does have a cutout, roof does not. And this one has quite a few, and this one has a window. So here's what I do in order to cut these out. Let me put these off to the side. So in order to cut these out, what I do is I line this up so it's exactly where I want it to be. I clip it so it doesn't move. These little pink clips have come from Dollar Tree. And then all I want to do is draw exactly where this window is going to be. I just put some, because I had another one in there. And then once I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim back when I cut this window, I'm going to trim back maybe a 1/16 inside that window. So when I do, you're not going to see the cardboard on that edge. I hope you can see this. I should move it up. Once you do the first one, it's easy to do the other ones because they get exactly the same way. So this panel should now, let's get it lined up correctly. There. And you see how this fits, that window just inside there? That's what you want. So when you put this panel in, that edge of the cardboard won't show because there'll be a window facing in here also. So, and then your decorative panel will go inside here. This is the outside of the building. This is the inside, and then you'll have another decorative paper on top of this, so you won't ever see that. So this is one down. Now the other ones. This one here. So we'll line it up. Make sure it fits just the way it's supposed to. Now I did draw on this side, and I could draw on here again, but I already have marks on there, and I want to make sure that this is all aligned. So I may just draw on the other side. It's easier to do it that way. So line up your bottom and your corner so you know that this is exactly where you want it. And then again, I use my trusty pink clips. There we go. And this should align right here. Now this is a window, and this is a window. So you have to make sure that you get all of this lined up correctly. And then this one here. Just clip this one down so it'll stay. Okay. So now all you would do, draw in your window, pull your tabs back to make sure that you have the right size in here. This one has lots of cutouts. Okay. Now remember, inside of all of these, you're going to trim back just inside that area. So you allow for that edge. Now you could totally do one house. You don't have to do 3. But for the design I had planned, I thought it would look better to do 3 of them. I want to be careful not to cut too far in, though. I only want a small gap right here. I'm going to cut this one, and then I will cut the other ones off camera and then come back. I got the pattern for this, these row houses, maybe a year ago, maybe a little more than a year. But I went and looked, and they're still available at SVG Cuts, so you can totally get these. All right, let's see how close this one is. So if you put this here and here, beautiful. See how each one has a small gap? And this is the only one I have left. So once we put these down, they'll be nice and tight. So let me cut this one. I always turn it around to where I can see the line in front of me, rather than putting my ruler on top. This one's a little floppy because it's so narrow in here and narrow on the other side, but once we tape it down, it'll be fine. It'll just give stability to this whole house, since there's going to be 3 of them side by side. They should be plenty strong enough to hold up. And you know, since this is so narrow, we could probably get away with just trimming out this whole section right here. I think that's what I'm going to do, because it's going to be so hard to hold that in. So we'll just trim out this whole section. Then once we put this down, it should be strong enough. Plus there's stairs going in here too, so this one here, see, this is such a narrow area right here. We could take a little piece of this, which is, I may do that, and just cut a small strip. And then what we can do is just put that in there to give it a little more strength. So I'll leave that one. This one's actually done. And I'll clip this little piece in here so I don't lose it. And then I'll cut the rest of them off camera, and then I'll come back because it's all done the exact same way. You don't want to see me cut all of these, so